Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks host the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. Today, it's a doubleheader starting at 4 p.m. with Jewish Heritage Night. As for this game, the Ferry Hawks will play as the Staten Island Menches. Friday at 7 p.m., it's soccer night, and kids glow around the bases postgame. Saturday at 6:30, it's Broadway night with postgame fireworks and Broadway rave. Sunday at 1:30, it's Military Appreciation Day, and the kids run around the bases.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats. In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, this is welcome news. Looks like President Trump has called off the airstrike on Iran that was going to continue into tonight. And it looks like that is off because making progress on the negotiating front. Making progress. I love it. I love it. This just happened a few moments ago. I was thinking it was going to be a late night tonight, but no, it looks like it's going to be very, very much under control here. Wait, where is the brand new one? All right, stand by, okay? All right. Right now, he has told the New York Post the agreement to begin nuclear negotiations with Tehran is all wrapped up. And then he followed an announcement that he had called off planned strikes on Iran. It's pretty much all wrapped up. It comes after the New York Post first reported that Iran had finalized and submitted a draft memorandum of understanding to Qatari mediators on Wednesday night, which was last night. And I kind of love it, man. I love it. You know, push, carrot and stick, carrot and stick, carrot and stick. And for the people who are really, people, Democrats, pundits, trying to beat him up about this, the man is pushing for peace every day. And they're like, well, he said it was going to be only a couple of days, and now it's been a few days. Or he said it was only going to be a couple of days, and now it's been weeks. I mean, isn't he pushing in the right direction? Don't we want to give him major credit? A guy who's pushing for peace. Imagine that. We had 1, 2, 3 wars under other presidents, right, that kind of bled over into others. What wars am I talking about? We had the war in Afghanistan. Nobody seemed to give a damn about wrapping that war up. We had the war in Iraq, also the never-ending saga. And then the war between Ukraine and Russia. I have never heard any kind of talk about peace until President Trump showed up. Well, he said he would fix it day one, and he didn't do it. So what? He tried. He's trying. And this thing, when did it start? February 28th. So how many months has it been? March, April, May, we're June, almost halfway through June. That's 4 months. No, is it? Almost. No, it's 3.5 months, right? Wait, shoot. March, April, May, 3.5 months. And with that, you got to remember, there's been a ceasefire for most of it. Most of it. And we've only lost 13 guys, which isn't that bad. It's just not that bad. Now, here's something delicious. Oh, boy. Governor Wes Moore of Maryland. I told you the big problem with these governors, right? We got to change the name of the job. Governor sounds so august, right? It sounds so prestigious, right? Remember The Godfather in the backyard? I didn't want any of this for you. You know, I wanted something better. Governor Corleone, Senator Corleone. Well, those are very, very prestigious sounding titles. But what if we called them, you know, administrator, New York administrator, New York superintendent, and we called them the super for short. You know, the guy in the building. You call him to fix the sink. Would people be falling all over themselves and spending millions of dollars of their own money to become the superintendent, the super? I'm the super. Come to fix the sink. I don't think so. Anyway, this guy is so high on his own supply, so obnoxious. You know who he is, right? Very good looking, very fit, too fit, if you ask me. Somebody who buffs. You know, you get buff. You shine it so much, you buff it into a shine. You work out so much, you're all buff. You're not working hard enough if you're all buff, in my opinion, unless you're juicing it like Sid. Sid juices it. He does, but that's okay. He told me. He said it out loud. You got to cheat a little bit if you want muscles like that. He is all into the fun of being governor. Well, I knew the guy was a great big gigantic phony, especially when it came to his military. And everybody else is finally picking up what I've been putting down for years about this guy. Are you ready? All right. He went CNN of all people. Like they realized the blood is in the water with this guy. There was talk about him running for president in 28. He'll be lucky to make it through a full term as governor. He's screwed. No, I really think he does have a problem here. Go ahead. He's on with CNN. Go ahead. You got it yet? Pretty please. Well, they give a big. The couple of papers did an expose, and he's lying about a lot of things. He's been one of those resume patters, right? He's a real resume patter. Okay, didn't I give you? Did you get that? No. Oh, shoot. Wes Moore happens to be good friends with Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey spoke at his inauguration, if you can believe that one. What the hell would she be doing there? She fell in love with this guy like she fell in love with Barack Obama, right? Remember that? He's the one. Hold on a second. Back to the PTSD thing. Mike wants to say something about that. Yes, Mike.
Hi, Marine.
What?
Hey, Marine, how are you today? Semper Fi.
How are you? What's up?
Look, I heard your comment earlier, and unfortunately, there are many, not just Marines, but other service members who have this symptom, this PTSD, and I'm one of them.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, well, all right. So what happened to you? When did you serve and where did you serve?
Harrier jump jets. All right, now I was going to fly Harrier jump jets from Yuma, Arizona.
Hey, you make it sound, what are you putting down my service? You're putting down my service now? Sounds like you're putting down my service.
Down your service, because that's what you're doing to me.
Oh, no. I'm not putting down your service. I'm going to put, I'm calling into, hold on a second. I am calling into question, and you knew what you were getting into when you called me up, that this PTSD thing, they've gotten totally carried away. And in my opinion, they've done a disservice to Marines like you by making this a tailor-made, ready excuse for all kinds of ailments. And guess what? There's money behind it. So, having said that, tell me where you were and what happened to you.
So I was in Beirut, Lebanon on October 23rd, 1983. I pulled body parts of Marines out of that barracks. Okay? That's where I was. You think I don't live with that every day? You don't think I remember my friends who got killed on that day?
Hey, wait a second. Now, you were in the Marine Corps, right?
That's correct.
You joined a fighting force, right?
That's right. The finest fighting force.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Did you ever think that somebody might die while you were doing that stuff?
You're absolutely right, but not under the circumstances. Now, look, I met President Reagan twice, not once, but twice. Okay, I had a lot of admiration, a lot of respect for the man. But what he did, or I should say what he didn't do, during that period of time when the Marines were in Beirut with the multinational peacekeeping force, was just wrong. And the upper echelon of the Marine Corps didn't do the right thing by Marines.
Now, hold on a second. Hold on. All right. Now, are you talking about the rules of engagement and that the Marines could not have rounds chambered in their weapons and in many cases could not have weapons? Is that what you're talking about?
That is exactly what I'm talking about. And not only that, I'm going to tell you right now, Greg, the way that truck came into near the Marine barracks, okay, they had to pass a French checkpoint, and the French soldiers just waved them on through, okay? And because the Marines, we are the United States of America, and we're there as a peacekeeping force, we couldn't have rounds in our chambers and our magazines, left us wide open. And that's what happened.
I know about that. Wait, hold on a second. I mean, I know about this, and it was terrible, and I think it was 200 and something. It was a horrible day. I remember where I was when I heard the news. I was in Cambridge, Massachusetts with my dad. Now, when did you start getting? I bet you did not leave on a disability. Did you leave active duty with a disability?
So, unfortunately, when I was in the Marine Corps didn't care about that. The Marine Corps just said, are you re-enlisting? If not, there's the door. Use it as fast as you can.
Okay, were you able-bodied? Were you able-bodied when you left the Marine Corps?
Physically, yes. Mentally, maybe not so much, though.
So when did this mental stuff start happening?
So shortly after I came back from Beirut, I went on to, I became a Marine security guard. I worked at U.S. embassies in Southern Africa, right? Southern Sahara Africa, right? I was at the two embassies prior to the bombing, both in Nairobi, Kenya, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I was there when they were doing the upgrade to the embassies.
All right. We got it. So, but the bottom line is what, though? I mean, yeah, you saw some tough things. People.
No, well, the bottom line is, Greg, you just made such a light, like you just blew over it. Oh, PTSD does a bunch of.
No, I mean, look, I'm so sorry. Because it's become an industry. It's become an industry. And when there's money flowing around, and we are now encouraging people, because look, what you saw and what you did, and you've been very specific, so I believe you. But there are people who do not have those stories who are making them up. All right, that's the part. They're making them up. And, it was a volunteer Marine Corps when you joined. It was a volunteer Marine Corps when I joined. We have to factor that in. And we have to be tough. We have to be resilient. We have to turn to God. We don't have to turn to the VA. A government bureaucracy is not going to fix this country. It's not going to fix our brave men and women who served. It's not going to fix you. It's not going to fix me. You got to level with me on this one. Don't you believe, Mike, if everything you saw and everything you're hearing now, like this Graham Plattner jerk, that it's gotten a little bit carried away, huh? A little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, so
I have a fellow leatherneck buddy of mine who I've known for more than 40 years, and he lives in Maine. And he can't sleep at night knowing that this guy is now the Democratic nominee for the Senate seat in Maine. I mean, what a beautiful state, and what some beautiful people up there. And now they have this guy who's just a piece of what did President Trump call him?
Oh,
same
a pig,
thing,
a pig,
right? Same thing.
a
Right?
pig.
They called him a pig, and that's exactly what he is. He gives guys like you and I, who honorably serve, a bad name. He truly does.
Well, all right. So look, you and I are more on the same page than you might think. All right. I'm saying, of course, there are. And what the hell happened there with the bomb and the thing? That's like 9/11, quite frankly. And 9/11 happened right in front of you. And I'm not insensitive enough or even naive enough to believe that there is no such thing as emotional scarring. But it has been industrialized and weaponized and monetized, and it's out of control. Okay.
9/11 as well, right? Or the people downtown when everything happened, right? I mean, because now they're just giving out money because it became a business, right?
Yeah, it became a business. So we got to be mindful of that. So you know where I'm coming from. I know where you're coming from, Mike, and I appreciate the call. Okay, pal.
Thanks, Marine. All the best.
All right.
Bye.
Good stuff, Marine. Semper Fi to you. No, I do. Look, hey, the Beirut barracks. You remember that? You know about that? That was a real thing. And I do actually believe that Marine Corps leadership was in the wrong. And that was a real thing, and that was a decision at the generals were involved in that decision. I think I knew some of the generals too. Well, all right. What's the time? We got one more time. Oh boy, Evelyn. Hello.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to explain the difference between therapy dogs and service dogs. Many people get them mixed up.
Like a service dog is like a seeing eye dog, and a therapy dog is one that is cute and just cheers you up, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And people are using them interchangeably. I have 5 therapy dogs. I'm not allowed to take them on planes, in restaurants. They just make the person at the other end of the leash feel good. That's it. They're not skilled to do anything except make you feel good.
And your dogs, I mean, don't all dogs do that? Therapy dogs are all dogs in a way. Every dog makes us feel good.
Not every dog could be a therapy dog. We have to be tested. We come with insurance just in case a dog will sometimes act like a dog.
Yeah. Evelyn, can I ask you something?
So,
why do you have 5 therapy dogs? That seems a little excessive.
I adopt greyhounds.
Ooh.
So they're fabulous.
From the racetrack.
Yes, they're all retired racers.
Oh, man.
They're absolutely fabulous to own. Lazy as crap. When they come off the track, they don't want to move, which is perfect for senior citizens. in Manhattan.
What,
For
they,
apartments in Manhattan.
and they don't even want to run anymore?
Nope.
Huh. You learn something every day. You learn something every day.
Right. I'm a senior citizen, and I have 5.
All right.
Wonderful.
Well, you give them a great big hug and kiss from me. I love dogs. I really do. Thank you, Evelyn. All right. When we come back in a little bit, we're going to have this Governor Wes Moore takedown. All right. Because this guy got busted. Stolen valor. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network. One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
Greg Kelly.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All right, so it's time. It's time. We're going to get a little mini warm up here, and then we'll get the rest on the back half. This is a political career going up in smoke right before our eyes. Pretty boy, Wes Moore, Governor Wes Moore, charmed life. Real grade grubber, resume patter, but it's all coming out. All coming out. Go ahead and hit it.
We're looking for you to offer clarity too today. You have faced questions about your military service career. The Baltimore Sun has run a series of reporting pieces. The way they put it is, for 20 years, Moore has repeatedly told versions of his story that do not match the record. Things that they have gone through are about receiving a Bronze Star and not. You eventually did receive a Bronze Star. Padding your resume for a White House fellowship in 2006, mischaracterizing receiving a combat action badge, how you got to, how long you served in Afghanistan, misstating that you earned the top leadership award at the MP officer basic course. They report the Army did not have record of that. And there is more. You've largely not specifically answered to these questions, but you are now. We saw this morning a lengthy piece, a lengthy series of interviews that you did with a news outlet, The Banner, defending your record. I want to get into many pieces of it, but broadly, Governor, have you misstated, mischaracterized, misrepresented in describing your military service career?
I have never mischaracterized my military career, and I'm very proud of the service that we all did in Afghanistan and my time throughout the Army. The reason that I wanted to sit down with The Banner was because I've always been an open book, where I shared with them not just my publicly available records, but my privately available records, to show that not only do I have nothing to hide, I have nothing to be ashamed of. That, when I was 17 years old, I joined the Army. That when I was working a career in finance, I left and I deployed with the 82nd Airborne Division in Afghanistan. That every time we could have chosen safety or financial benefit or anything along those lines, I've raised my hand to serve because this country asked. And I know for myself and the people who I serve with, we would do it again.
Oh, shut up. You're scamming everybody, Wes Moore, and now you busted. All righty. And some people around here just got busted. I'll tell you all about it. That was very interesting. Very interesting. Tattletale culture. Busted.
Greg Kelly.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Hey, how about this? A buddy of mine, Jay Clayton, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, that's where Rudy Giuliani was a U.S. Attorney, has just been nominated by President Trump to be the Director of National Intelligence. The one, Gabbard left, so there's an opening there. William Pulte is the acting, and I know that he's got a lot of opposition, unfairly so. Anyway, I think this is pretty cool. I like Jay Clayton, smart guy, perfect, great choice. That should work out very well for everybody, especially America. All right, back to Wes Hummina Moore. Man, he was busted. Hey, why do they do that thing? Sandra Smith is walking through the studio like, look at me, and gosh darn it, look at that place. It looks like Bloomingdale's. It looks like the cosmetic section in Bloomingdale's, right? It's all white and annoying. And why do they even make the weather a big deal like that? With the fronts and the clouds and the blue and the occluded, we all have it in our phones now. We don't need all the other things. Did you hear there's a major a typhoon or something in Philippines? Man, that place is kind of disaster prone. It's pretty sad. All right, you ready? I want to go back to Wes Moore. All right, and he's fighting for his political life here. He's pretending he has no problem. He's got a big problem. All right. CNN is even giving him a hard time. Go ahead.
Fast.
Two pieces that are highlighted by the banner, just two of them, and we can get into more. Into more of it is that in one of your books you've described evocative descriptions of the first time that you were shot at in Afghanistan, describing the sounds of shells buzzing past your ears, a flurry of divots leaping out of the earth around your feet, but you also reference the experience of leading soldiers into combat. And in the interview with the Banner, that you said that you have never been ordered to lead offensive missions in Afghanistan. You also have misrepresented your record. You also misstated what happened with regard to the timing of the death of a friend of yours when you were overseas. First Sergeant Toby Meister, how you'd stated that you grieved his death at your grandfather's funeral. He died days after that funeral had taken place. How do you explain this?
Well, I think the article helps to highlight that when I say that we led soldiers in combat, that we did. That my job was serving as a director of information operations, where I was leading a team of PSYOPs and civil affairs, and we all fall under SOCOM, which is Special Operations Unit within the military. And my job was to go outside of the wire multiple times.
Stop right there, man. They just gave himself away. Oh boy, this whole thing. Yeah, I was attached to, I was part of, I was under the umbrella of. It's not just good enough to serve, right? You got to exaggerate. You got to make it sound good so civilians are going to be impressed. But the problem is when you do that, the professionals are going to know. The pros are going to know. And then the civilians are going to find out. Sooner or later, they'll find out. Swift boat veterans for truth. Right? Got to start one of those things up again. John O'Neill was his name. Great soldier, a lawyer, who won the debate with John Kerry, by the way. Nobody knows that. Dick Cavett show. Probably nobody ever knows that either. But, all right, keep going with this punk.
And civil affairs, and we all fall under SOCOM, which is Special Operations Unit within the military. And my job was to go outside of the wire multiple times a week. And the thing that we know is that while my job was never to conduct offensive operations, it was the enemy's job to conduct offensive operations against us. And we had to then turn around and respond. And I think about the things that I wrote about. Again, things that I factually stand by. I know that a decade after redeploying from one of the most traumatic moments in my life, where we were deployed to one of the most dangerous places in the world, where I lost friends over there, where we know the dangers that we had to face every time we had to leave the wire. That trauma and frankly that therapeutic process that I was going through in writing, where I was very clear that some of these things are going to be composites, and do I wish on certain things I would have been added more context to the reader? I do.
Hey, stop!
I will own that.
Oh, but brother, some of these things are composites. Give me a break. But what's the other thing? In a weird way, I'm actually convinced there's more deception going on here than is apparent, because she said, now it's clear that you never led troops in combat. Oh, he said, I never did it in offensive operations. He has said, I've heard him. I don't know. There's something even more going on, because I could actually quibble with her. The whole damn place is combat. The place is a combat zone. So if you're leading troops, right, you are actually leading troops in combat. Now, I think that would be a stretch if you're, leading them to the chow line, right? But if you're going from point A to point B and there's any kind of tactical aspect to it, you're leading troops in combat, if you are, in fact, the guy in charge. So even there, I actually think she's quibbling a little bit. But the fact that he isn't pushing back a bit more aggressively on this, hey, cut the crap, lady. You have no idea. You have no idea. I told you 1/10 of the stuff I saw. 1/10. All right? Defensive operator. Do you even know the difference? That's the way he should be reacting if his story were true, but it's not. He's busted. He's busted. Keep going if you don't mind there, Phil.
And do I wish on certain things I would have been more added more context
honest
to the reader? I do, and I will own that. But everything that I wrote there is not just factual. I think it helps to explain the trauma that so many of us have felt as we've come home, and how we continue to deal with it and process it as we've reintegrated back to society.
What is suggested in the reporting by the Baltimore Sun is that you did this knowingly, that you padded your resume in order to further or set yourself up for a future political career. And you respond to that by saying what?
I think it is deeply slanderous and disrespectful to think that any of us would leave our family, would go deploy to some of the most dangerous places in the world, would go and leave a wire knowing that there is a very distinct and real possibility that you're not going to come back. That we all then now have to deal with the realities that we have friends who lost their lives overseas or who came back remarkably different, and to think that we did it for a political purpose. I did not serve because of politics, and I could care less about how this impacts my political career. The same way I didn't serve because of medals or awards or recognition. I served, we served because we believe in this country and because this country asked us to.
Stop. You know, it's interesting. You know, why is it if you get out of college and you go work for Goldman Sachs that's somehow understandable, right? I want to go make money, you know? You go fly for Boeing, fly for American Airlines. Hey, man, I love to fly. I love to fly, and it shows. I want to fly. But if you join the military, I am doing it for the country. I'm doing it for this. I'm doing it. Maybe you're doing it because you like the uniforms. Maybe you're doing it because they gave you a break on the college. Maybe you're doing it because it sounds like interesting work. Maybe you're doing it because it pays pretty decent money. Maybe you're doing it for adventure. Maybe you're doing it because you want to go to war and check it out and see what the hell all the fuss is about. Why does it always have to be totally pure? He's too pure. And he's not pure, right? What he's saying. All right, sorry. Go back.
Would go and leave a wire knowing that there's a very distinct and real possibility that you're not going to come back.
Oh, come on.
That we all then now have to deal with the realities that we have friends who lost their lives overseas or who came back remarkably different, and to think that we did it for a political purpose. I did not serve because of politics, and I could care less about how this impacts my political career. The same way I didn't serve because of medals or awards or recognition. I served, we served because we believe in this country and because this country asked us to. And any type of insinuation that we would have risked our lives for something other than the fact that this country asked us to, I find to be not just deeply disrespectful to all of us, but slanderous.
Oh my gosh. You know what? And by the way, they didn't ask you. Actually, I mean, you asked them. You asked us. You asked America. You know, you applied to West Point. You got to apply. You got to put in an application. You got to ask for this reference. You got to get that reference. You got to say, please. I was like, we're asking you. We don't have a draft anymore. So he's overdoing it, right? You see, he's a great big mixed up stupid person. He's a great big mixed up stupid person. All right, just a little bit more if you don't mind. A little bit more.
All of us. But slanderous.
This gets to integrity and trust. And you know this. I mean, this is what this is. They are questioning your integrity. They are questioning if people can trust you today and going forward.
That's it. They are going to get to the good part. Can people trust you going forward? No, they can't. Man, he acts like such a big shot. He acts like every day is a game show, and every day is kind of a game show. I'm the governor. I look great in clothes. I get in and out of cars. I notice all the cool jobs these days, right, entail travel. But not travel like lugging yourself to LaGuardia Airport and getting on a flight. No, travel that's been kind of taken care of for you. Travel where you get on government planes, right? And there's no kind of red tape. the power, the SUV, the stupid perks, right? That's what they get. That's what he's in the game. I met that guy once in Washington, D.C. while he was a White House fellow. And I really don't have anything that bad to say about that moment other than he seemed pretty damn smug. Like, this guy seems to know something. Like, yes, I'm going to be a White House fellow, and then I'm going to go to Harvard Business School, and then I shall enter the political ring, and then I shall become president. There was something like that kind of turned me off. But that could have been me, right? Me and my chip on my shoulder. And I'm known to have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. No one ever talks about chip on shoulders. All right, 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. The political career of Wes Moore terminates with the governorship of Maryland. It was fun while it lasted, right, Wes? Be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, we are back with possibly my funniest and best tweet ever, at Greg Kelly USA. At Greg Kelly USA. I encourage all of you to check it out. I have to do one small edit. I see a little spelling mistake. It's very cool that you can now correct the spelling and the what do you call it? Grammatical stuff. Yes, Alan, how are you?
Good, Greg. Good show. I wanted to say that every time that lady from CNN asked him a question, that question was directed to him. But every time he responded, it was always we. He didn't want to say I. And I thought that was another way of avoiding the truth that he lied about all of his service.
Right? He's trying to make it sound like you're coming after not me, but my band of brothers.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, you're right about that. We. No, this is not about them. This is about you and your resume and what you did to get this prestigious fellowship. Great point, Alan. Great point. I'm going to make a video about that, and I'm going to highlight what you just told me. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All the best to you. Dave is in California. Yeah.
Hi, Greg. You were talking about NAFTA the previous hour. I just wanted to tell you real quickly, in 1993, I was a library director, a very prestigious library in Connecticut, and I invited the head of the International Ladies Garment Workers Union up from the city to talk about NAFTA and to have a debate with this young professor, obviously a Marxist. How weird is that, going against labor? But so the Marxist came down by train, and the old labor guy came up from the city. We had a phenomenal debate. And the old labor guy, now this is 33 years ago, absolutely predicted everything that happened from NAFTA. Manufacturing jobs gone, et cetera, et cetera. And the Ladies Garment Workers Union later on merged with hotel workers and stuff, so it didn't even survive NAFTA. But it was a remarkable moment. And it was so prescient that the old labor guy with the shoes barely tied and the old suit hanging off and absolutely demolished the young Yale Marxist who, in a bizarre way, was in favor of NAFTA. It was just a crazy moment and a preview of what would come.
Fascinating. Who was this guy who made all the predictions?
The labor guy. I do not have his name, Greg. I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. Very impressive, though. Yeah, no. Look, if you read that deal, you can kind of see it from space. It's amazing. Unfortunately, I was checked out back in 1993 doing other stuff. We didn't have the internet back then. You know what I mean? We couldn't tackle these things, but now we can. And quite a moment there. Al Gore thanking everybody from Richard Nixon to Bill Clinton. Very weird. Thank you, sir. Okay, Viviana, I'm told that you are, you call every show. Appreciate it. Didn't know you were such a prolific caller. Hi.
Oh, God bless you, Greg. I was thinking about this momentous decision today to up the game with Iran because they are stringing us along. They are saying that they're the victim, basically, when even if you made an agreement with them, they would not keep it. So they're playing a game that's very dangerous. And the United States has to, especially our legislators, have to stop talking against what he is trying to do in Iran.
Yeah, totally. Listen, do you know that they called off the fireworks tonight, right? We're not going to be bombing. You know about that, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're not bombing. He says we're getting progress, and all the bombing for tonight has been called off, and a deal may be imminent. Yeah, no, let's hope that's true. Thank you very much. Okay, Marianne, hello.
Greg, how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to talk about the Epstein files, and more specifically, the survivors. There's no doubt that the guy was a sick puppy, but if they survived assaults, why are they not naming names? Why do
they survived what?
If they survived an assault, why aren't they naming the names?
Look, the whole damn thing is a scam. And I know what you mean. Like, we almost feel like we have to say, look, I know he was a sick puppy. I know he was this, that, and the other thing. You know what? How the hell do I know? Who has told me that this guy is guilty? The government and the media. You know, and here I am now. I understand. I read the plea thing. I know what he pled guilty to. I know what he didn't plead guilty to. I know the ages of these people. I also know that he pled guilty to having sex with a 17-year-old girl. Guess what? Jerry Seinfeld was having a sex with a 17-year-old girl in 1992, and everybody thought it was hilarious and fun. I mean, what the hell? What about Elvis Presley, for crying out loud? How old was Melissa Merlee? What was her name? Priscilla? She was 14 years old. They still go to his mansion there in Graceland, right? It's all crazy. It's all nuts. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. I got to get to Barbara on Long Island. Hello, Barbara.
Hi, Greg. Today is a huge day for America. Today, the bishops of the United States are dedicating America to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And they're doing that for us to understand the love that God has for us and the love we should reflect to our fellow citizens. And I know our founders would agree with this because they believed and said again and again that our rights come from God. As a matter of fact, John Dickinson, who was known as the penman of the Revolution, said, kings or parliaments could not give the rights essential to happiness. We claim them from a higher source, from the King of Kings and Lord of all the earth. They are born with us, exist with us, and cannot be taken from us by any human power without taking our lives. And John Hancock tells us we must defend those rights. He says, resistance to tyranny becomes the Christian and social duty of each individual. Continue steadfast and with a proper sense of your dependence on God. Nobly defend those rights which heaven gave, and no man ought to take from us. That's what President Trump is doing right now with every fiber of his being, defending the rights that each of us have in this country, those rights that came from God. And by defending our rights, he's aiding the whole world. I'm so thankful for him as our president, and I'm so thankful that he is president as we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence.
Well, I love it. He is amazing, isn't he? All the stuff he's doing, all the stuff, every fiber of his being. I believe it. Barbara, you are amazing. Thank you so much. All right, so here's the tweet. I put up the new picture of Carmelo Anthony in prison. And I don't know what the hell he's dressed like this for, but he's wearing like a stylish tan top, sleeveless tan top. He looks a little drag queeny, in my opinion. And I put this picture up and I said, is that Carmelo the Killer or a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Queen show? Look, I'm not an expert on prison, but I have a hunch that this look will not turn out well for Carmelo in jail. Hashtag protective custody. Get it? I think it's kind of cute. Hey, I don't want the guy. I don't want anything. I want. Look, you got to go to prison. You got to go to prison. I don't want anything bad to happen to people in prison. It's bad enough you're in prison, but he does belong there for 35 years, not this 17 and a half with parole. 35. I want to see the whole thing.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel's Super Sub, if your player's subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DCKYWY. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867. Louisiana.
Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.